Well, I want to switch gears a little bit. We only have 45 minutes with Shelly today, and there's something obviously that I want to talk to you that means a lot to me and my family, and that's well, I guess the best way I can preface this is you had a major label deal in the early aughts with Columbia. The record, first of all, the first single is one of my favorite songs ever. You Don't Lie Here Anymore. I love the multiple
Stop.
meanings behind that. Just the word lie. There's so much to unpack about the word lie in that song, right? It can
Yeah.
mean so many different things the way you guys wrote it. Let's talk about that first before we talk about the second part of that. You wrote this song with a
Okay.
couple of freaking veterans that are just sort of amazing
Yes.
songwriters, Clay Mills and Sonny Lemaire. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to know more about Sonny, we just had an episode of him. He's with Exile, and they're still killing it today. Talk about this song. I find it interesting, number one, that it was your first single. It was a self-written single from a debut artist, which I think is cool, right? When your first single is something you created as well, that's pretty dope, right?
Dude, I was out of my mind at that time because the whirlwind that you're on as a brand new artist is already a thing. And then I was kind of new to co-writing and learning about writing songs, and I felt like I was a terrible songwriter, which you are when you first start writing songs. You're not that great. Not everybody is great right off the bat, but like those guys, when I got in there, I'd woken up in a hotel room with "You Don't Lie Here Anymore." I just had that. And I was like, oh, that could mean both the "You Don't Lie Here Anymore" and "You Don't Lie Here Anymore" in my
Yeah,
head. And
yeah.
so I went to them, my little young self, and they're like, "This is great. Let's riff off of that." And so because they're so great, because they are such great songwriters, Clay starts playing, ding, 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 ding. He's a soulful guy. So is Sonny, and it just fell out. It was one day, and we were only in there a few hours writing, and it happened. And then they were like, "Let's go play it for It was Barbara Orbison's company that they wrote for, and so or that Clay wrote for. And so we went and played the song for Barbara Orbison, and then we played for Clay Myers there, and then they asked us to play at a writers thing that night. And when you're a new artist and everybody's buzzing about you around town, they kind of want you to show up in all these different places. Hey, could you come to this little luncheon thing that we're doing tomorrow? So I knew that we had something special, but I didn't really know it'd be the first single. I didn't know any of that kind of stuff yet. So when we went in to record it, I was like, this is incredible that I get to hear a song I wrote on the radio when I hear myself for the first time. So yes, that whole experience was like, looking back now, I feel the same butterflies and
Yeah.
excitement that I felt.
And this song was a debut single that went top 30 on the charts, I think.
Yeah.
Self-written by a new artist in town. Congratulations, man. I don't know
Thank you.
if you reflect on that and understand the gravity of that. I imagine you probably do. But just from a freak idea in the motel, just man, yeah, and that word lie. There's so many ways to use it, and so I'm so
Yeah.
cool. It's such a cool idea for a song. I'm just like
Thank
when I
you.
first heard the song, I used to get those little promo CDs that they would send out back in the day, if
Uh-huh.
you know what I'm talking about. And that was such a good way of learning of new artists because even if
Yeah.
the artist didn't have a record out already, you would get these singles out on these promo CDs, which I still have a bunch of them around. I wonder if I still have yours, but that's my introduction to Shelly Fairchild was that song. And you talk about not really getting many songs because you're a new songwriter. You had 4 cuts on your debut record
Yeah.
as a brand new artist, brand new songwriter in town. That's dope, man. Congrats.
Thank you. I don't really think back on it as much until I have moments like this where somebody's showing appreciation for it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. We tend to like pay attention to things that aren't going right in our lives,
Sure.
right? Which really sucks. I hate that we do that to ourselves, but like I have to stop and be reminded of this stuff. So thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
And I mean,
There's a king-size bed that ain't been slept in. Dinner on the table that's sitting there cold. Again, the front porch light just gave up and burned out. Hey, you are looking like something the cat drug in, with a worn out story about where you've been. Sweet little words coming out of your mouth. You ain't gonna lie here anymore. You ain't gonna break this heart, baby, like you did before. You're a silver-tongued devil that had me believing every promise you were bound to break. But you ain't getting back through this door. You don't lie here anymore. Well, you can beg and plead and say that you're innocent, that you don't know where the time went, but that trace of perfume is a smoking gun. So you can turn right around, go back to where you just been. Take a look at all you'll be missing, 'cause you won't be here when the morning comes. You ain't gonna lie here anymore. You ain't gonna break this heart, baby, like you did before. You're a silver-tongued devil that had me believing every promise you were bound to break. But you ain't getting back through this door. You don't lie here anymore. Yeah, yeah, you're a silver-tongued devil that had me believing every promise you were bound to break. But you ain't getting back through this door. You don't lie here anymore. You don't lie here anymore. You don't